Am I ever excited for this? Guys, that was so good. Feels like you're showering in like a hotel. That's probably the best way I could explain it. Oh, I'm at a truck stop, by the way. Rocks and dirt. Nope, we're not in the city anymore. I found the city to be a little distracting from my creative side. So we decided to just unplug for a little bit and decompress in the backcountry. Where are we? We're somewhere on planet Earth, not far outside of Vancouver. Home is right there for the entire night tonight, and we're not alone. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a little bit of smoke coming up right there. There's another set of campers. Right there. There's a couple RVs and stuff, and a little barking dog that CRUZ hasn't quite discovered yet. There it is. All right. We're going to be making home here. We're going to be spending a little bit of time in the backcountry for probably the next, I don't know, couple videos anyway. Was pretty outside there for a minute, then it started to rain. All right, so we're gonna do what you do best when you're stuck inside, and that's eat. So we've got eggs, cheese, and hash browns. I just noticed something about these McCain hash browns. They're just broken French fries. So if you take a look at some of these, you can see the little crinkle cut in them. These are just broken French fries that never made the French fry cut. Find another one. Right there. There's proof. This whole entire thing is like that. You can see French fry ends. Yeah. Cheaters. I had no intentions today on making a sitting in the van video, but the clouds, the rain, and the gloominess outside have forced us indoors. So we're just going to sit down and talk today about my van wish list. I don't know if this is going to be helpful for anybody, or if this is just going to be a waste of your time, or this just might be entertaining for some of you. But I want to share with you guys some of the things that I'm dreaming about adding to my life and my van. Keep in mind, guys, that most of the things on here are not necessary. Some of the things on here will add functionality to the van, but yet add some prettiness to the van. So I'm buying some of these things for cosmetic reasons. And you're like, why would you do that, Chrome? Well, let me tell you a story. Story time with Chrome. My whole life I've been a car guy. I have had lowrider cars with just, to take my Cutlass, I just had a set of 13-inch wire wheels on it. We lowered it, and that was it. Then that progressed into having a Monte Carlo with T-tops that we did full custom paint, hydraulics. You know, the cars you see bouncing around and three-wheeling through intersections. Yeah, that was me. So, and having a full custom car that we took down to the Lowrider Magazine car show in Portland and took to every single car show summer after summer. I miss the customization process of those things. I miss the point of putting in all your hard-earned money and time into something and standing back going, yep, that's my car, and feeling proud about the appearance of it because it attracts attention. Yes, that's me. That's who I've been. And even around my lowrider time, I bought myself a huge, fully chromed out Hummer on big, huge rims with tires, like big off-road tires. Like my treads were like the size of my knuckles on there. Like my Hummer hummed just driving down the road. Don't ever make purchases like that because you just lose your... I lost everything on that thing. I paid $1,000 payment on that thing month after month, year after year, just to finally get to the point to sell it and lose 10 grand. I still owed $10,000 on that stupid Hummer when I sold it. It was fun though. If you look at that side, it looked damn good in front of the club, let me tell you. When DJ Chrome showed up, Chrome showed up. All right, sorry to share that piece. All right. So I've been the car customizing kind of guy my whole life. My thought process now with the van is this is my home. And a lot of the things I want to add to my van, including some of these things that might make it look pretty, are still going to be very functional. Except for one thing. There's one item on here that I don't need, but I want. You know? So let's start off. These aren't in any particular order. They're not in order of things that are mandatory that I need first. These are just things that have been in my mind for a while, and I jot them down. Every time something new comes in, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to write that down just in case. Just in case that happens to evolve into something that, hey, you know, I have to do this now. One thing on my list at the very top of this one, it's clearly at the top because it's the first thing that was on my mind, is rims and tires. Now that we've lifted my van has a total different feeling to it. It looks so much better with just adding the lift. But then comes with, well, now I can fit bigger, chunkier off-road tires underneath it now because I have more wheel well space to put a bigger tire in there. And we're not going to go huge, but technically, I only need the tires. I don't need to buy the rims. The rims are purely for cosmetic reasons. So when I was in getting my wheel alignment done on my van after I got the van lifted, I was talking to that shop. He recommended the KO2 tires. And I know everybody on here that's ever recommended a tire to me, 99% of the time it's been the KO2s because they're just amazing on the trail and they're really great for driving on the highway as well too. So for someone with my lifestyle, it's an all-around perfect tire for me. I could technically put the KO2 big chunky off-road tires on this van on these rims, saving me the cost of the rims. But me, I'm like, well, if you're going to go that far, why don't I buy the custom rims? So I'm going to, if there's a picture attached here, those are the ones I'm looking at. Not necessarily those rims, but the company in Abbotsford has those ones in stock right now. And he offered me a pretty good price on them. I don't have the money for them, so I'm not going to be buying them. But just the fact that he showed me those sparked the thought in my mind. And because it sparked a thought in my mind that, hey, let's save up for these. You probably know that's going to be coming on my van sometime soon. So coming along with rims and tires, I want to add a spare tire holder on my back door. So just to get the spare tire out from underneath my van, because the clearance underneath my van is so very important, especially for going up hills when you're out here in the backcountry, especially if you hit a steep hill, because my back end scrapes on the ground. Well, now that we've got it lifted, I got lots more clearance, but if I got that spare tire out from underneath there, I would have this much more clearance in the rear. It'll make a whole lot of difference. So rims, tires, spare tire on the back door, and a ladder for the side. So whether it go, I think it's going to be going up one side or maybe up both sides. I'm not really too sure. But having a ladder up the side to access everything that's going to be up on my roof is going to be important once the roof gets finished. These are going to be down the line, guys. None of this stuff's happening soon. Please don't get it twisted. I don't got $10,000 kicking around to do all this stuff right now. On the note of the roof rack, so we all know I have my rusty roof rack on the back. It's gotten better, I think, now that all the initial rust has happened and all the streaks went down to the van that I've had to clean up like every 2 days. Now that that initial rust has happened, it's not streaking as bad down the van. So I think as it's corroding right over top of it, it's kind of sealing it in a little bit. But that's been on my mind, to get the rusty rack off the back and take those 2 Rhino rack bars that I bought, that I have my awning attached to, and buying another 3-bar setup. So that's, I think they're about $700, whatever, for the other 3 bars. So doing that gets the rusty one off the roof, and getting the rusty rack off the roof means rusty metal dripping on metal causes more rusty metal. So I don't want my van to rust because of that thing on my roof. So I've pondered about getting another 3-rack system on the roof. That right there is very expensive. So think about those 3-bar roof racks are about 700 Canadian. 2 storage bins are about $1,000 Canadian. So that's $1,700 just for that. Then add the ladders, which are really expensive, the spare tire holder, which is very pricey. And I don't want to put, I know some people are going to say, well, you can buy those ladders on Amazon for $100. No metal on my van. I do not want to put metal on the side of it, because if that rusts, it's going to rust my van. So I think if I do those things, they will be aluminum. So if you add aluminum, it ain't going to rust. But yeah, we'll see. I'll shop around for that when the time comes. Another thing on here is dual deep cycle batteries. So I have one 105 amp hour deep cycle battery that powers all of this stuff. And then I even charge my Jackery batteries off that thing. But adding a second AGM battery is become necessary now that I'm sitting still. So I drain my batteries all the time. Right now, my battery says it's at 12.1. 12.1, which is dead. I have beat the crap out of that battery over the last 1.5 years that I've had it. People say AGMs have like a 2-year lifespan before the charging starts to be crap. And I'm starting to see that right now. And that's 12.1. Like, I need to shut all these lights off and start my van. Like, we haven't had solar very much the last day or so. So, you know, we're not getting a lot of outside power coming in. But yeah, adding 2 deep cycle batteries. So the problem with this now is that because those are AGMs, you can't just add a second one. Because if this one's at 50% in life, or 60 or 50, say it's got 50% of life left. If I add a full charged battery, like a full good quality battery to it, you connect them together, the full battery becomes the same strength as this one. Like, it's like anything else in life. You're only as good as the weakest person in your team. Same thing goes with batteries. So if I have to replace them, I got to replace them both. I can't afford to do lithium batteries right now as much as I would really like to. They're very expensive here in Canada. Like a Battleborn battery in Canada is like $1,500. Insane. So, but yeah, adding dual deep cycle batteries is on my list. Won't be happening anytime soon though, I don't think. Swivel seat. That has been on my mind a ton lately. And this kind of happens only in the summertime, because I had these thoughts last year and I had those thoughts the year before, and we're coming up to summer again this year, and here they are again. So adding a swivel seat to the front just adds more to the living space in here. You know what I mean? Kind of opens this area up a little bit and gives me another seating option and another point of view of the home, which would be very nice to see what the home looks like from sitting over there. So a swivel seat is something that is definitely on my list, and that one will probably be happening before a lot of other things on this list, because they're not that expensive. They are pricey, but not as bad as some of those other things on there. So before we go on, my roof rack, another thing I want to put up on the roof is lights. I would love to put a light bar in the front for situations like me leaving here early in the morning so I could see the trail going down the road, and 4 perimeter lights on each side. So front and back on each side, having them on multiple switches so I could switch on that side lights, so at night I could have my patio lights on, which would be great, and or full perimeter lights, so if something goes on around my van, if I get a knock in the middle of the night and it's out here, heaven forbid, I can click on all my perimeter lights and I have a clear view from inside my van of absolutely everything, which has become more and more important now that I'm out here. So think of this scenario, like we're out here and I hear something outside. Could be an animal, who knows? But if I click on my lights, it goes boom right around me. I got a clear view of absolutely everything. So that's where finishing off my roof becomes kind of important. But this is all adding up very fast, and it's getting to the point where it's like, man, I gotta stop dreaming. And the last few things are pretty simple. I want to buy a folding table. Like I seen one on Amazon by Campco, I think it is. It's like a bamboo folding table. It fits in a little bag. Looks pretty great. They're a bit more expensive, about $100 and some odd bucks. But they're great because if I get the storage containers up on the roof, that's where things like that will go. So I can climb up the ladder, open the lid, grab my table, things that don't need to be inside of here. So if you look at some of these things, it'll definitely be a cosmetic change to the van, because now my van will start looking like this off-road, wicked little home, jacked up, nice rims, big chunky tires, fully dialed out roof, lights, ladders. This thing will look like it's ready for anything off-road and off-grid. And that solves the whole let's customize my van thing. You know, when I can sit back and take pictures of my van going, so proud of that thing. I have that feeling right now, though. As soon as I lifted it, changed the whole outlook on the outside of my van. I was pumped about the inside before, but couldn't care about the outside. Now that it's all lifted, whoo, it's feeling mighty, mighty good. Anyway, you guys, I don't know why I shared my wish list with you guys, so hopefully you guys at least found this somewhat entertaining, and maybe this sparked some things that you guys never thought about. I don't know. But I think as you progress deeper and deeper into your van life after you start, as your world changes, so most of these changes would never, ever, ever, like I could scratch 80% of the things off this list if I stayed a pavement van dweller. But because the last year or so, I've been more adventurous off-road, now it's becoming with the off-road changes to my van. Does that make any sense? So as I'm evolving, my van is slowly evolving with me, and I'm hoping maybe over the next year or so we can make some of these changes to the van. Or maybe I'll get rich and we'll do them all at once. That probably ain't gonna happen. We'll probably do these little bits at a time. All right, another long video, guys. I'm so sorry if you're new around here and you're like, man, these videos are getting a little long. I like to talk. My bad. And since you guys are my only company living in this solitary world right now that we can't be around too many people, we're just gonna talk sometimes. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.